Welcome to the channel, everyone. BLN437, and the Yankees have a new manager, and it is Aaron Boone. I actually like the move. I actually really like this move a lot. But before I get into that, if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well. Let me know if the Yankees made the right move. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. And now let's get on to this Aaron Boone news. So the Yankees have hired Aaron Boone. It's going to be official at some point during the weekend, probably during the week, earlier in the week, next week. We'll see how it goes. But Aaron Boone is the Yankees manager. And before people start saying, oh, why did the Yankees hire Aaron Boone? It's stupid. They messed this up. They screwed this up. Listen, it's a good move. It's a good move for a lot of different reasons, but I'm going to get into the hate first. I understand where the hate comes from. I understand he's new, doesn't have experience, doesn't, really know how to run a clubhouse yet. It's something different. It's something new for Aaron Boone. I get that. I completely 100% get that. And on top of that, you're replacing Joe Girardi, who had a great tenure with the Yankees, a great 10 years. And that's fine. I get all of that once again. But this is why I like the move. It's something new. It's something different. And the game of baseball is changing. It is changing, and it will always be changing. It's about front office now. And if the front office likes you, the front office is going to hire you. And if you look at the past two World Series teams, Cubs, Astros, they had managers, but those managers, to me, weren't the talk of those teams. When the Cubs won their World Series, it wasn't, oh, Joe Maddon propelled the Cubs to a World Series. It was Theo Epstein finally did the job. And when the Houston Astros won this year's World Series, it was the front office of the Houston Astros assembled a team to go for the next 5 years, just like the Cubs. So this idea that managers matter in the game of baseball anymore, they do, but they don't to the degree that I think people have made them out to be. Managers in today's day and age aren't going to be what a Joe Torre was, a Mike Scioscia is currently, or even some of the other guys that we've heard about in the past, Whitey Herzog and other greats. It's just not. It's not about that anymore. It's about the front office, and the front office assembles your team, and the front office is what's going to make the team. And the Yankees felt that this was the best move, not only for the clubhouse, but for the front office, because the Yankees wanted communication between, obviously, their front office team and this manager, which we know is Aaron Boone. So, like I said, I don't think this is a bad move. The Cubs and the Astros hired managers not for the sake of they felt that they were so great for the job. They did feel that they were good enough for the job, but more so because they felt that they could propel the talent that they had already assembled into a World Series team. And that's the truth. That honestly is the truth. Now, the Yankees also have had a history of doing this type of stuff. I mean, people sit here and act like this is the only time that the Yankees have made a move like this, or any club has made a move like this. When you look at some of the recent Yankee hires, I know that some of you guys probably won't remember, because some of you guys are just used to Torre and Joe Girardi. The Yankees hired two, and one of them I just mentioned. One is a Hall of Famer. One, to me, should be a Hall of Famer. Billy Martin. Billy Martin was the Yankees manager. They hired him mid-season in 1995. But he was the Yankee manager from 1995 to 1977. That was his first run, because he quit in 78. And I'm just talking about his first stint, And when the Yankees hired him in 75, he had taken teams to the postseason, but always got eliminated in the championship series, because back then there was no division series, so they got eliminated in the championship series. So he couldn't get over the hump, but he struggled, but he was known for turning teams around. And then he got to the Yankees, and they lost in 76, but won in 77. So Billy Martin panned out, and a lot of people at the time, they liked the move for Billy Martin, but they didn't feel that Billy Martin was the guy to get them over the hump. And George Steinbrenner was actually the guy that really made that decision on who the Yankee manager was going to be. So the Yankees have always been ahead of this kind of, we want our guy and we want them to work with our front office type of, agenda and idea that is going on in today's day and age of baseball. And the other one is Joe Torre. When Joe Torre came to the Yankees, Joe Torre wasn't a successful manager. He didn't take any team to the postseason. He had two bad stints, one with the Cardinals and one with the Mets. And when the Yankees hired him, they wanted to run him out of town along with George. They thought that George was crazy, because you had Buck Showalter, who was showing you that he was developing this young talent and that it was going to be something special. But George Steinbrenner didn't feel that that was the right move at the right time to keep him, and he ended up firing him. So, and it panned out. The Yankees won in 96, 98, 99, and 2000 because of it. Now, when Joe Girardi got hired in 2008, He had no experience. The only experience he had was taking a Florida Marlins team to 78 wins. And that was considered a successful season, considering that team didn't have as much talent as it once had because they dismantled that team in 03. So, I mean, people were criticizing that move. So now you guys are going to criticize Aaron Boone? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I think you guys have to give it a try for people who have hated it. And I think that we have to see where this is going to go. We don't know how this is going to work out. The Yankees have young talent right now that's just waiting to explode. We've seen Judge and we've seen Sanchez. You have Torres. You still have Didi, who's now becoming a good offensive player. You have Castro. Bird shows you what he can do in the postseason. And I think Aaron Boone can handle that. I really do. And my reasons for why I like Aaron Boone, I'm going to get to them right now. One, he loves the game of baseball. He and his family have such a rich baseball history. His brother, Brett Boone, who's been in the freaking news for ridiculous comments about women and other things, was a all-star and a 4-time Gold Glover for Seattle, I believe, he played with. Then he had his father, who was a catcher, Bob Boone, and he also had a grandfather, I believe his name was Ray Boone, and they all played baseball. And they all were decent players, great, decent players in their own right. They were never great. Brett Boone was probably the best out of the people that I've mentioned so far, or the family members that I had mentioned. But the baseball family that these guys have, they have such a rich baseball family. They love the game of baseball. They are all about the game of baseball. And that's what the Yankees need. They need a guy that loves this game as much as anybody else. And I think that's what Aaron Boone did in that interview to impress Cashman. On top of he's worked with Cashman, he also was under a Cashman team in 03. And the second reason for why I like this move is not that heroic moment in 03. Everybody knows about that Game 7 home run against Tim Wakefield that propelled them to go and play the Florida Marlins in 03. Yeah, that's a great moment. But the fact that he was on a pennant race with a team that had Jeter, Posada, Mo, Bernie Williams, that's talent that you don't see every too often. And he got to play with them and pick their mind, pick their brains, and what they do in these type of situations. He was also, like I said, in a postseason in New York, so he knows what the pressure feels like. He knows what it's like to be, in that big moment as a player. And I think he could give a lot of those young players that insight of what it's like to be in that big moment and handle it. I really do. And that's why I like that move as well, for that second reason. And the third reason why I like the move is he's young. He's willing to work with the front office because obviously that's what Cashman wanted when he went into this once again. And it just feels right. To me, it feels right. I don't know about you guys, but it just feels right to me. I just think that a lot of people want to, they want to see what this guy can do. Yes, obviously, we all do. But they wanted somebody with experience. And to be honest with you, there was nobody out there that had experience to me that was any good. What are we going to do? Hire John Farrell? I mean, it's just not going to happen. They weren't going to do that. We were talking about the guy who managed the World Baseball Classic for the Netherlands that helped Didi swing. I always mess up his name, and I forgot his name, but you had him as well. Carlos Beltran interviewed for the job yesterday, but that was a long shot. I didn't believe that Carlos Beltran deserved the job at this particular moment. I also think that he just needs to step away from the game of baseball. He just needs to relax. He just retired, get his head straight. When he's ready to come back to the game of baseball and manage, so be it. And then other people were talking about Alex Rodriguez. Listen, Alex Rodriguez, yes, he has somewhat of an impact on those guys. He does. But he is someone that I don't know if the Yankees want to deal with the drama and kind of deal with the things that go with A-Rod. I just didn't think that. And another reason as to why I think this move is a good move, other than there was just somebody out there, he's a quiet guy that if the media is going to try to pressure him into saying something, he's not going to say it. Boone is not that type of person. Boone is going to keep his mouth shut. Boone is going to sit here and focus on the task at hand. And he's going to work with these guys. He really is. And I don't think he's really going to give the media too much. And I think it's a good move if you want to look at the media, because that's also another thing that they were doing. Apparently, during this interview process, they also had media sessions where they were practicing or kind of just seeing how these managers engage with the media. And Boone is going to do that perfectly. He's going to be another Torrey, another Joe Girardi, who's not going to give you much. And when he does give you that, it's going to mean something. It's going to be impactful, not only to him, but the clubhouse. And another reason why this is a move that I felt that needed to be made, and I think another team, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, need to make this move and fire their skipper, is because the clubhouse, when the Yankees fired Joe, and I saw Aaron Judge on ESPN promoting not only MLB The Show 18, but just talking about what had gone on in that clubhouse. Not once did he defend Joe. Not once. I mean, he said, listen, he's grateful for Joe giving him his opportunity, and so on and so forth. But nobody in that clubhouse, other than Todd Frazier, who's a free agent, spoke out and said, yeah, we want Joe back. This is our guy. Nobody. Or, we were upset about it, but it's time to move on. I mean, these guys didn't really give him a ringing endorsement. And I don't know if that was due to the fact that they just didn't feel connected to Joe, which is what the reports were saying, or they're just being good guys and they don't really want to talk about it, which I understand as well. But really, nobody in that clubhouse stuck up for Joe. I mean, they were thankful, they were grateful for the opportunities that Joe gave them, but nobody really stuck up for him. And I think that that's one of the reasons why this move had to happen. Nobody really seemed to have wanted Joe anymore. It just seemed like, not that his message wasn't being felt, it wasn't being delivered, but because it just seemed like they were playing for themselves. It wasn't that they were playing for him and just for what they wanted. They were playing for themselves, and rightfully so. You do need to play for yourself. You do want to play for your team. But when the Yankees went through that playoff stint and he made those mistakes, not one of them really sat there and said, like I said, other than Frazier, that, hey, we're doing this for Joe. And I feel that that's a telling sign. That's a complete telling sign. And I think Cashman looked at that, and Cashman was like, these guys aren't rallying behind Joe. They're just rallying behind the fact that they feel that they can beat the Indians, and they feel that they can do this, and they feel that they can shock the world. And I don't want that. I want them to be able to play because they enjoy playing for not only their team, their city, but for the guy who's managing them, who's making sure that they prosper and they become greater than what they already are. And I didn't feel that with them, and I don't believe that Cashman did as well. So it's an interesting move. Like I said, once again, a move that I want to give it a shot before I rip on it. I know that a lot of people are sitting here and laughing, and there are probably going to be a lot of people that disagree with me and say that I'm crazy, that I like this move, but I really do. I really do. I think Aaron Boone is going to be a fantastic manager for the New York Yankees, and I think he's going to be something different that the Yankees want. You can make him an analytics guy, and he's willing to work with Cashman, which I think is important in today's day and age when it comes to baseball, is working with your front management. I mean, you look at some of the big markets, Philly, Boston, both hired two guys with no experience. Gabe Kapler, who has experience with the analytical side, and he does have some type of experience with, being at spring training and helping guys out, but never any managerial experience. And Alex Cora doesn't have any managerial experience. He's just gained experience through being a bench coach and so on and so forth. And to be honest with you, no one criticized those moves, but the Yankees move, they criticize. And I just find it interesting. And I guess you can criticize it a little bit more so than those two guys, because those guys have been around the game of baseball and have been around players the past couple of years. While Aaron Boone has been calling ESPN games. And therefore, when you have him calling ESPN games, you have guys like Gabe Kapler and Alex Cora gaining baseball experience, either with Gabe Kapler through the minor league system with the Dodgers and kind of just other things with the Dodgers, and Alex Cora running around baseball, being a bench coach for the Astros, and so on and so forth. I can understand why people would criticize this move, though I don't think it's fair to criticize without seeing what the final product is going to be. We don't know how he's going to do. We don't know what the Yankees are going to be like. If the Yankees improve or even make it to the playoffs, was it really a bad move? No. If they don't, then yeah, it would be a bad move, and it's going to be a bad move, and it's going to look really bad on Cashman. So we'll see how it goes. So anyways, guys, I went a little longer than I expected, but it is what it is. I enjoyed it. So if you guys liked this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well. Let me know if you guys liked this move or not. And if you guys did, like I said, let me know. If not, I'm more than willing to hear it. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and later on.